Welcome to Returns and Credit Showroom Process. Today's agenda is first things first, returns and credits and your client. I have a return or credit request, now what? And lastly, I submitted a return and credit form, what happens next? So first things first, terms and conditions. Make sure you read and understand the Waterworks terms and conditions. Focusing on the sections of the terms and conditions that may result in returns or credits are the following sections. Shipping and delivery. All deliveries should be inspected within 5 business days for damage or any missed shipments. All reports should be submitted by contacting client services. The returns and cancellation section. Returns are accepted within 90 days from time of receipt. There is a 20% return processing fee. Product must be in original and sellable condition, and no returns are accepted on special orders, slabs, tile, stone, or tubs. All returns are subject to inspection. The warranty section. There is a limited warranty on all Waterworks products. A detailed warranty document can be found on our intranet. Also note that there are initial boxes next to these 3 important sections. These must be signed off by your client. Showroom returns credit policy and procedure. Educate yourself on the policy and the process. Ask questions or ask for hands-on training. The policy was recently updated and revised to simplify the process for better understanding. Many questions regarding this process can be answered by reviewing this document. The approval process is also highlighted in this document. This document is located in your Policy and Procedure Handbook. Understanding returns and credits and knowing the difference. Returns and exchanges involve RMAs, freight damage, or quality warranty, involve product. Credits, credit memos, refunds, transfer of funds, involve the movement of money internally or back to the client, and physical product is not involved. This flowchart outlines the differences of returns and credits. Does product need to be returned? If the answer is yes, then the return exchange process should be followed. If the answer is no, then follow the credit process. If you are unsure if we should be requesting product to be returned due to its condition, work with your client service associate. They can help you decide whether we should retrieve product or not. Note the boxes outlined in red. They indicate a return and credit request form must be submitted for processing. Set the right expectation with our clients at the time of sale. Review terms and conditions with your client at time of order placement and be sure that they understand a return policy, making sure that they initial those little initial boxes that we talked about earlier in this program. Services, slabs, tubs, and special orders are not returnable, must be within 90 days, and must be in sellable condition. The return process fee of 20% and installation constitutes its acceptance. Advise clients to advise whoever is accepting a delivery to inspect and report shipments within 5 business days for shipping damage, missing pieces, or missed shipments. What do I do when my client requests a return or credit? Ask the right questions. These questions will guide you in processing the return or credit correctly. Assess the situation. Can I save the sale or prevent the return or credit? Does the request involve returning physical product? Is this a client decision or a Waterworks error? Was the product received damaged or seems to have a quality issue? For client decision returns, is the client aware of the 20% return process fee? And is it within the terms and conditions? Now that you understand the return and credit process, you've educated your client, and you've asked the right questions, you need to know how to process a return. How do I process? How do I process A return for physical product will be returned due to a client decision or order entry error. Please follow the return and exchange process, order errors, and client decision RMA process. Ask yourself, is it within the terms and conditions? If it's not, you will have to go through the approval process that's outlined in the policy and procedure policy. If it is, then you may submit an RMA form to be approved by your general manager. How do I process a return for freight damage or misshipment? Follow the freight damage misshipment process. Do not submit an RMA request. If it's within the terms and conditions, you may contact your client service rep. Your client service rep will contact the client and make arrangements whether a credit memo has to be entered or an RMA, and also take care of any replacement orders. If it's not within terms and conditions, you must submit a credit memo and make sure you follow the approval process. How do I process returns for products thought to be a warranty or quality exchange? Please follow the warranty and quality exchange process. Do not submit an RMA request. You'll have to go ahead and submit a product support ticket. If it's a warranty issue, product support will work with the client directly and take care of any exchanges or any credits that have to be done. If it's not a warranty or quality issue, you will have to discuss this with your general manager and decide whether an accommodation will have to be made. How do I process credits that do not involve returning physical product? Please follow the credit memo, refund, or transfer fund process. Credit memos. You may request a credit memo, which is providing a credit to a client without receiving physical product back. Credit memos may be for accommodations, credits outside of our terms and conditions, or for services. Transfer of funds. You may request a transfer of funds when an order carries a credit and is available to be applied to another order with the balance due. Refunds. Request for a refund when a credit balance exists on an order due to overpayment or cancellations. Refunds will be applied to the original form of payment and cannot be changed. Refunds cannot be issued if the account is on credit hold or if there are any shipped orders with unpaid balances. All three will have to be requested through a returns and credit form. For detailed instructions on how to complete a return and credit form, please visit this link. What happens after I submit a request? For all RMA requests, your GM will receive your form via email. The GM will review prior to processing. If approved, the GM will forward the form to Client Services RMA inbox and CC the associate marked approved. For requests that need to be revised, your GM will work directly with you. If the RMA request is beyond the approval amount of your GM must forward the request to be approved by the appropriate person. Once it is approved, the GM can forward the request to Client Services RMA. Client Services will contact the client to arrange pickup and review the returns policy. An email confirmation will be sent to the client and the sales consultant will be CC'd. Product will be picked up and inspected. Return will pass inspection and be closed or will not pass inspection. If the return does not pass inspection, the GM will be notified and next steps will be discussed. Credit memos. Your GM will receive your form request by email for review. If approved, you will receive an email that it has been approved and forwarded to Client Services RMA for processing. For requests that need to be revised or not approved, your GM will work directly with you. If the credit memo request is beyond the approval amount of your GM must forward the request to be approved by the appropriate person. Once it has been approved, the GM can forward the request to Client Services RMA for processing. Refund request. Accounts receivable will receive your request and process the refund within 48 hours. An email of credit receipt will be emailed to the client address listed in the refund request form. Transfer of funds. Accounts receivable will receive and process your request within 48 hours. An email confirmation will be sent that the transfer has been completed. If you have any questions or concerns on the returns and credit process, please contact your client service representative. If you have any questions regarding the status of an RMA or a credit form request, you may email clientservicesrma@waterworks.com.